Hello, everyone. Welcome to Insights with Alicia. Every week, we gather to learn and connect and learn things, and people always want to know more about the scientific psychic. So the truth is there are so many things that I've experienced in my life that have transformed so many things for me. And I love being able to share those insights with everybody, not just my clients. We talk about relationships, behavior, so many life skills to change your life. Sometimes we talk about animals, and a lot of times we talk about psychic things, which is what we're going to talk about today. I am super excited. For those of you who don't know, I am Alicia-Navigating, owner of Who Knew Healing. I am an intuitive life coach, intuitive mentor, animal consultant and communicator, psychic medium, and I am super lucky because I get to provide healing and growth opportunities for people and animals. And one of the reasons that I do Insights with Alicia is because it gives you a place to start creating something in your life for free. I get to shine the light on things and show a different perspective for how you can create change for yourself. And then if you choose to work with me individually, you get to grow down your path to transform at a deeper and usually quicker pace. I don't know about you, but I like quicker things. And as always, new episodes of Insights with Alicia are available on Mondays. They are available on the YouTube channel under Alicia-Navigating, as well as on all the podcast platforms as Insights with Alicia. And for my readers out there, I don't forget about you. It will be as a blog post on my website on Wednesday, whoknewhealing.com, new with a K. Okay, so today I'm super excited. I love that I got this idea earlier in the week and I was like, ooh, this would be fun. Today, we're going to spend some time navigating the realm of psychic tools, right? So the truth is we live in a world of hustle and bustle and craziness and chaos and busy. And it's no wonder that we have a desire to connect to the spiritual and metaphysical realms. And that leads us to embrace a whole variety of tools, tarot cards, crystals, candles, pendulums, sage, among many, many other, have all emerged as powerful instruments that help us explore the depths of our intuition, gain insights and spiritual guidance, and find a sense of balance in our lives. Because sometimes we're really, really seeking that. So today we're going to embark on a journey to uncover the magic that each one of these has. And today is going to have a show and tell component of it. I'm going to be showing you the tools that I use and talking about them. I'm going to give you some information about them, and then I'm going to bring out all my stuff, which is, you should see my desk here. It's crazy. I'm going to try to not knock stuff over and still be close enough to the microphone so that you can hear me. And hopefully my light will stay on. It's been a little cranky lately. For those of you listening as a podcast, I will do my very best to be able to describe it to you. And I also recommend watching the video for this one. Okay. So where we're going to start are tarot cards. So at the heart of tarot lies a century-old practice that invites us to tap into the realm of symbolism and archetypes. Tarot cards have transcended time and cultures and become a widely recognized medium for divination and self-reflection. Each card in the deck carries its own imagery, its own meaning, its own message, and with all of these messages and the stories that they create for us, it allows us to see different facets of our lives. So through spreads, interpretations, tarot readers decipher these messages, guiding us through thoughts, emotions, decisions. And whether you're seeking answers to a specific question, a broader perspective on your journey, or embracing the unknown, tarot cards can act as a trusted guide on our quest for understanding. So your basic tarot cards, like the ones that most people use, are the Aleister Crowley. And those have been around for like a really long time. So this is what the book looks like. It's the black one, sort of got the card on the front. It's red and yellow and blue and gray and a whole background. And this is just called Tarot Mirror of the Soul. And inside the book is all of the info that you need for the cards. And each deck of tarot cards. So I'm going to show you the cards here. This is what the cards look like, right? So this is what they look like on the inside. This one's change. You can tell I get that one a lot. The fact that I just know it by the shape. Not always how I was like, I know there's change. What's the one thing we know about change? It's always constant. It's the one constant thing in our universe, or one of. Then you have other ones like this, which are your court cards, which we'll talk about. And then you have, show me one of the, so, and then you have the other ones like the moon, right? And so what you do is you pull a card, or you do a spread, And then you go look it up in the book. And so you have what's called the major arcana, which are the things like the lovers, the chariot, the universe, the priestess, the tower, the tower card. The tower card, when you pull that, lets you know that there's some internal changes going on, right? It's just that the idea is that this big tower that we built is now crumbling to the ground. And so there's a lot of changes that are going to go on. And then under those, you have, like I said, what are called the court cards. So in this set of tarot cards, there's 4 categories. They're wands, cups, swords, and discs. And each one of those categories mean different things, different aspects of your life. And each set of those have a court card. So there's a king, a queen, a prince, and a princess of wands, swords, discs, and cups. And they all mean different things. And then underneath those are what we call the minor arcana. And there's 10 of those for each category. So there's 10 of swords, 10 of wands, 10 of cups, and 10 of discs. And they all mean different things. Like the change card I showed you, that's a disc card. And I don't use tarot cards a lot. I don't use them in my practice as far as with my clients. One is it's still a learning practice for me. I still always have the book out. And for those of you that have had sessions with me, you know that my information comes in pretty fast. One of the tools that I use the most, and not just in this, but I notice that I use it with so many things. If I'm writing on a blog or I'm getting ideas, like it's called automatic writing. So there are so many times that I will be having a session with someone and I'm talking to them and they're talking to me and I'm full well listening and my hand is writing. It's writing stuff down. And then we get done with a part of discussion. I look down to see what I've written and I'm like, okay, here's the next pieces of the puzzle. This is how it fits together. And because the information I'm getting is sometimes for that moment in the session, and sometimes it's for about 25 minutes later. And so as we complete the circle, that's kind of how I describe it in the sessions, is as we go through all of the parts, these pieces fit in. And then at the end, like we have a put together puzzle that shows us the complete picture. And so, and I always tell my clients, I'm like, okay, don't freak out if you see me writing, because we've all seen in the movies where someone's in to see their therapist, right? And they say something and the therapist starts to write and everybody gets nervous and they're like, why are you writing that down? And like, why is that going in my permanent record? So I always be like, don't worry. It's just just getting the information as we're chatting here and doing our thing. So for me, tarot cards would get in the way of that. They're limiting for me in that aspect. And for other people that I know, they're amazing at tarot cards. Even some of the people that I call for guidance, they use tarot cards. I'm like, what are the cards saying? Because I don't have any idea. So it's one of those things that it's to each individual. I'm going to talk about some other cards here that I actually do use for myself. The tarot cards for me I don't always get the clearest answers, which is why I have my other ones. And for other people, they're the most perfect tool in the whole world, and they get clarity and it helps them make decisions. It helps them process emotions. Because sometimes when we have the intuitive and we're like, oh, that's what it is. Okay, yes. And then all the other little pieces can be the domino effect and fit in. So this is one of the main ones that you guys will see and hear if you go into bookstores, right? There are people that do tarot cards. The main thing that I use for cards, and I've been using these for years and years and years, and these are called medicine cards. So you can see here, hopefully, I think it shows up in the right direction on Zoom. It's a gray book, medicine cards, and these are from the Native American perspective, and they're all animals. Shocking, right? Like that I would have animal cards. Of course, I'm going to have animal stuff. So I have to move stuff around on my desk because it's so limited. I have everything here. And these cards, what I love about them is there is a full story that goes with it. So sometimes I have a question and I'll ask the cards. And a lot of the times I just pull a card every day and be like, what's the message for today? And as I'm reading through the story, it gives me the full understanding. I'm like, oh, okay. And for me, these work because they're more encompassing. I get out of my head a little bit more with them, and I still get the messages that I need. So I think how many are in here? You think I'd have them memorized because there's so many that I know. So we've got 52 animals that are in here, and they're from the crow to the salmon to the jaguar to the horse. Here's the thing. Like I said, I've been using these cards for, I don't know, 10 years. And these were the first cards I started with. And all the other ones, I really understand. Like it's very clear. The horse card, oh my gosh, I never really got that. Like with when it would be coming up in certain situations. And I kid you not, probably about 8, 10 months ago, I finally got it. And I was like, oh my gosh, now this one makes sense to me. I laughed at myself. And we can only hear things when it's time. I would get a little bit when I'd be like, I don't really understand the full picture here. And now I understand the full picture of the horse card. So these all have different things in them. This one. So this is what these cards look like. I'll show you here. So like that one's the dog. And what else do we have in here? What is that? That one's the coyote, right? The trickster. Coyote's in there. What else do we got here? The badger. I have a friend, she loves badgers. The turkey, which this one is called a giveaway. Like each one of these has like a word when you pull it up. The turkey is a giveaway, meaning that there's a gift coming in there. I only know that because I got the 3 days ago I pulled the turkey. So I want to pull a card. Let's pull a card out of these ones because they're my favorite. This is what we're going to do. And then we'll read what goes along with it. So we just shuffle them up. Here is the other thing. Is when you have your cards and you use them, particularly tarot cards for people that are readers, I've seen it go either way for them. They allow people to touch their cards and others don't allow them to touch their cards. For me, I don't let anybody touch my cards. They're my energy. That means they're clean. They're in tune with my vibration. You get to choose however you set it up. And I'm going to talk about how we sort of clean things when we get to the crystal section because I have a hair. It will apply to the cards too. So nobody gets to touch my cards. They're just mine. Because you form a relationship with them. Remember we talked about life forms in one of our other episodes? This is sort of like that. Okay. So what is the message that we want to have for today? And then we just stick. Oh, look, you see the bottom. Don't look at the bottom. For those of you watching, you can see the bottom of the card. So we just pick one out. Ooh, so we get dragonfly. Dragonfly is a really good one. All right. So you just pull open the page to dragonfly. If you guys like this kind of stuff, what I'm doing today, let me know because I'll do more of it. I was thinking about just popping on Facebook once in a while and pulling some cards and doing some readings and just at different times when my intuition says to do so. So if you would like more of that, let me know. Send me an email, send me a message, comment on anything. Okay, so dragonfly, the word that comes with it is illusion. All right, now I got to try and read this. My glasses. So dragonfly medicine is of the dream time and the illusionary facade we accept as physical reality. The iridescence of dragonfly wings reminds us of colors not found in our everyday experience. Dragonfly's shifting of color, energy, form, and movement explodes in the mind of the observer, bringing vague memories of a time or place where magic reigned. Some legends say that dragonfly was once dragon, and that dragon had scales like dragonfly's wings. Dragon was full of wisdom and flew through the night, bringing light with its fiery breath. The breath of dragon brought forth the art of magic and the illusion of changing form. We all love transformation. Then dragon got caught in its own facade. Coyote tricked dragon into changing form, and the shape of its new body became like dragonflies. Remember we talked about coyote being the trickster? In accepting the challenge to prove its power and magical prowess, dragon lost its power. Dragonfly is the essence of the winds of change, the messages of wisdom and enlightenment, and the communication from the elemental world. This elemental world is made up of tiny spirits of plants and the elements of air, earth, fire, and water. In essence, the world is full of nature spirits. If dragonfly has flown into your cards today, as it has, you may have forgotten to water your plants. On another level, you may need to give thanks to the foods you eat for sustaining your body. On the psychological level, it may be time to break down the illusions you have held that restrict your action or ideas. Dragonfly medicine always beckons you to seek out the parts of your habits which you need to change. Have you put too much weight on, or have you started to look like a scarecrow? Have you tended to the changes you have wanted to make in your life? If you feel the need for change, call on Dragonfly to guide you through the mists of illusion to the pathway of transformation. See how you can apply the art of illusion to the present question or situation. And remember that things are never completely as they seem. So when Dragonfly pops up for me, one of the things that I hear in that message is the need to prove, right? So we get caught up in our own facade. We get caught up in our ego of where am I believing my identity, that all of these things are who I am. And it's like, no, they're part of who I am, but who I am as a being is not the facade. And I don't need to prove who I am to anybody. I don't need to prove my self-worth. I don't need to prove my self-validation. I just get to be me. I get to be integrity with me. And also, as it was saying, we get to pay attention to, have we been ignoring the changes that we've been wanting to make? Are we not following through on things? Is that little part in there intuitive going, hey, is it pulling you towards something greater? And you're over here going, no, I'll see it. I'll see it. Because we get caught up in the comfortability of what our life looks like now. And as humans, we really like our comfort zone. And so now when you see a dragonfly, which we don't get to see them too often here in Arizona, back home in Michigan, they were everywhere. I absolutely love them. They're one of my favorites. We get to remember the illusion and that transformation of change from a dragon into a dragonfly. So that's one of them. Some of them are a little more, this one's a little more esoteric and ethereal, but I love them all. They're so yummy. Hopefully you like that. So that's the medicine cards. It's another tool that we get to use. All right. So now here's another one. And here's the thing. If you're intuitive, any of this kind of stuff, you like psychic stuff, you're probably going to have a lot of cards. It's like books for me. I love books. And there's just so many cards out there. So this one here that I'm going to show you, this is a set of oracle cards. And there's tons and tons and tons of different kinds of oracle cards out there. This one's called Earth Magic. Shocking, once again, that this is the one I would be, called to. And this one, same thing. It's got a little book in it. Describes everything, tells you about the cards. That's probably really loud on the microphone. I apologize. And then this is what they look like. So inside, they all have different things. So that one's eagle. This one's waterfall, lake, fairies, mountain, clouds, Milky Way, right? Because it's all earth magic. And they all have a message on there as well. There's tons, and like I said, tons and tons and tons of cards out there for you. So if you're drawn to one, those are going to be the ones for you. Everyone has opinions on so many things, particularly in the intuitive psychic world. Like you have to meditate in the morning and you have to, here's the thing. One, I suck at meditating. You guys know that. I don't do it. I get my bars run instead. Two, all my stuff happens at night. All my spiritual work, all my healing, all my messaging, everything I do is at night. I am not a morning person, and all of my portals open up at night for me to have my chats. Now, does that mean that I don't try and still have a morning routine to get myself grounded and awake? Absolutely. And everybody's different. Everybody's circadian rhythm is different. If you don't know what that is, that's how your body sees time on this earth. Daylight, darkness, that sort of thing. So always ask yourself what's a match for you. Don't just buy into, well, all the gurus say that you have to meditate in the morning. I would be terrible if I tried to meditate in the morning. I wouldn't get anything done. So the other thing that I have here, which is not technically a set of intuitive cards, but there is a book. And for those of you that know me or have been following me, I was never allowed still to read very many books as far as the metaphysical, self-help, spiritual. Like I love reading nonfiction, that's allowed. But as far as anything that would have helped me in my intuitive journey, no, books were not allowed. And people always ask me, well, how do you know they weren't allowed? Well, here's how it shows up for me. Remember, I always teach you how to listen to your body. If I have ability to touch the books physically, if I pick up a book and my hands burn, I know I'm not allowed to read it. And if I override that and I try to read the book anyway, I'll get sick. I get nauseous. I don't feel good because I'm choosing something that's out of alignment. And so there's only ever been 2 books that have been allowed to read, because apparently I'm an experiential learner, which is fine. Would like some of my experiences to be a little easier. You've all heard me talk about my temper tantrums. We all have them. And one of the benefits of being an experiential learner is that it gives me the tools and the experience so that when my clients come to me, they know what I'm teaching them and showing them works because I've done it. My life is different versus reading out of a book and then trying to teach someone that, which I'm not saying mine's better. I'm just saying it's different. So one of the books I was allowed to read, it's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And it was written by Florence Scovel Shinn in the 1920s. I think 1927, but I'm not 100% sure. We're somewhere almost to 100 years ago that she wrote this. And oh, I forgot to grab the book. See, I was going to grab the book. I actually don't know where it is. It's red, just so you know. If you go to look for it on Amazon, it's red. It has a red cover. And they actually have it. She's written 4 books, and so they've put all of them in that one book. But the main one, the first one she's written, is The Game of Life and How to Play It. And when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, there were so many things she said in it, so many affirmations, so many questions for the universe, all about manifesting what you want, that sort of thing. And I would write them all down. And I used to have a piece of paper that I would use daily. And then I found the cards. Look, there's cards, right? So there are cards that are The Game of Life and How to Play It, affirmation and inspiration cards by Florence Scovel Shinn. And I use these also. So let's pull one of these. And some of this might not make sense if you haven't read the book, but maybe it'll invite you to get the book because I love these. Ooh. I got this one the other day too, because I do have an adverse situation going on in my life. An adverse situation can be good. I am undisturbed by it, and it falls away of its own weight. None of these things move me. So for me, this reminds me that the whole silver lining thing, right? When something that we don't like happens, the first question I always ask myself is, all right, what's right about this that I'm not getting? Because we don't always have the whole picture in that moment. So this is sort of in line with this. And this is also a reminder of us that if we stay in integrity, if we stay balanced, which is not always easy, and it's a practice, that this adverse situation will fall away on its own. It will work itself out. And we get to stay in the place of where none of these things move us. If someone's saying things about you and making you the villain, what's going to happen is they're going to self-destruct and people will see it eventually, right? That's kind of the thing that happens with narcissists. So those are just some of the cards that are out there and available to you. I hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoyed that part. The next thing we're going to talk about are crystals. Okay, so crystals are fragments of the earth and they hold a unique place in the realm of psychic tools. From the calming embrace of amethyst to the grounding influence of hematite, each crystal possesses unique properties that align with different aspects of our being. And by harnessing these energies, we can amplify our intentions, enhance our meditation, promote healing, and establish connections with both ourselves and the world around us. By learning to incorporate them into our daily lives, we can tap into Earth's ancient wisdom and find balance in our modern world. Also, crystals remind us to be mindful of the vibrations we emit and the energy we welcome into our lives. Okay, so I have just some of them here. And here's the thing also. You don't have to become an expert. One of the things, particularly with crystals for me, my personality, right? My analytical side, my side that loves to learn. If I would to let that free, it would not be good for me. I would want to learn absolutely every single thing about every single crystal rock out there, which would not be good because it would take up all my time and my energy, and my house would look like Beautiful Mind. You know, that movie where Russell Crowe has a psychotic break and his wife walks in the room and there's just papers covering the walls. That's what it would look like. It's the same reason that I don't do the ancestry family tree stuff, because my whole house would be covered in a family tree. My analytical brain would just be in full heaven, but the rest of my life would be destroyed. So for me, where it comes to crystals is I listen to my intuition. If my intuition says, hey, you need to have this one, I listen, I get it. I at that point in time, I'll look up what the properties are because I like to know that. And then I listen to my intuition of how I'm supposed to use it. If it's supposed to go to a certain place in my house, if I'm supposed to use it in my daily practice. I listen to my intuition. There is no right or wrong in that. It's whatever works for you. So you can have ones like this one here. So what I'm showing is a pink one. This is rose quartz, right? I actually have a little candle. This one's a candle holder. So I have a candle inside this one. Um, and you can use that one and it lights up. It's very pretty. We all love rose quartz because it's super calming, and who doesn't love pink and love and all that good stuff. This one that I have here, this is like a light blue one, and you can't see it on the camera, but it's super kind of sparkly on the inside. This is called Celestine. And then we have this one here, which is the orangey one. This is called citrine, used for different things as well. Like I said, I don't even remember what they're all used for at this point, but I know that I have them and I use them. This one here is called fluorite. It's green. Probably not going to show up green on the camera. And this one always reminds me of like the Superman movies. Remember, he has his green crystal that builds his ice castle. That's what this one always reminds me of. This one's actually really good for your brain. That's why I have this one. And we have other fun ones, like this is blue moonstone. It's super sparkly. It's not going to probably show up. It's dark blue. This one's moss agate, which is very, very hard to find anymore. It's actually, you can't find it in the wild anymore. It's all been mined. And I learned that from my mom. So she used to make jewelry out of all of these things. She was amazing. And so this one's moss agate. It actually has moss inside there. Feels super yummy. What else did I pull out here? So this one is like a blue and white. It's called Larimar, only found in the Dominican Republic. Very unique. And this one, you hold it and you just feel like you're at the ocean. Like it's very calming, very healing. And then what I have here, this is black obsidian. And I use this one a lot. And believe it or not, the only place I could find this in Phoenix or in all of Arizona, because even in Sedona, I checked every rock shop up there. Was at the Tucson Mineral Show. I went with a friend years ago. The one she used to make jewelry, and this is the only place I could find black obsidian. You can find everything. You can find black tourmaline. You can find black onyx. You can find snowflake obsidian. Black obsidian was harder to find. And black obsidian is a very, very powerful. It's actually glass. It's a volcanic glass. It's a very, very powerful tool because it's one of the most powerful to pull negativity out of a situation. And I use it in my own healing. I use it when I am doing entity removal from people. I just have it in my house. I have 3 of these little things here. And it's really, really good for protection. So I used to have it in my room when I had a particular roommate that was not in alignment and was a significantly lower vibration. So I would have this around my room. And one of the things with black obsidian that you do get to be mindful of is where you store it, because it is so absorbent of negative energies. And so if you have it stored someplace that it can pick all that up, you want to remember to clean it. And it's one of my favorites, though. I use that one a lot. There's tons of them out there, tons and tons and tons of crystals, and they're all for different things. And for me, when I sit down to do my own healing or spiritual work, it's the same thing as everything else. I go, okay, well, am I supposed to have any of my stones or crystals? And I'll get the list. And then I sit down. I always have to sit on the floor because that's just how my process works. Doesn't always make my knees happy at the age of 50. So, but I always sit on the earth because I like to be connected to the earth. And then I put them out around me, however they're supposed to be, or in the room or whatever. And I just listen to my intuition in that. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way. It's different for everybody. And this is great, great practice for you to be able to develop your own intuitive skills. And the other part we want to talk about is you want to clean them. Oh, and I forgot to grab. Dang it. See, I have too many things so all over the place. I tried to grab them all out of the house. And especially when you move them, then you're like, wait, where did I put that? So, because I wanted to show you guys selenite. So selenite is a white clear crystal. And selenite is a clearing one. It absorbs everything. So you can use selenite to clean your other crystals. You just place them on it. I have like a little wand of selenite and I'll place the crystals up against it and it'll pull all the negative energies. The other part is there's lots of sun and moon things that you can do to recharge and clean your crystals. So I'll put mine out on the full moon so they can absorb that light and release what all the energies that they don't want anymore. I have a friend, she does a sunrise one. She does the sun thing. And I think there's like some salt involved. Plenty of, you can Google all of that. And the other thing is, and this is with anything that you buy or bring home. So whether it's cards, we're going to talk about candles next, crystals, is you want to clean them. You want to clear all of the energies. Because imagine, right, you get a crystal from a store. How many people have touched that crystal? So it absorbs a little piece of that energy every time someone touches it. So when we're going to use it for ourselves or bring it into our home, we want to clear it. Um, some people, like myself, just have the ability to do that. Like I will hold it and I will clear the energy. Otherwise, you can use the rituals, the sun, the moon, selenite. You can sage them. There's lots of different things that you can do, but you want to make sure that you clean it out. And that's also where it was in one of the Claire series. I think was it Claire Sentient or where I talked about psychometry. So psychometry is the practice of where you can touch things and you can feel the energies of other people, whatever over time, right? And that is one of the gifts that I happen to have is I can touch things and see the history or the last person that has touched it or anything like that. So we just want to clean that out when it's going to be our personal instruments that we use or things that we bring in our house. I think that's it for the crystals, the selenite. Yes. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to move on to candles. Candles have illuminated sacred spaces for centuries, symbolizing the light within and the connection to the divine. Beyond their physical radiance, candles serve as a focal point for intention setting and meditation. Lighting a candle can be a simple yet powerful act, creating a space for reflection, manifestation, and transformation. The flickering flame mirrors the dance of our own consciousness, reminding us of the eternal cycle of change and growth. Okay, so I have candles that I use, and it's the same thing as the crystals. I'm not gonna lie. It was like there's times I'll be like, I need to get a yellow candle. Really? Yellow? All right, I'll get a yellow candle. I have no idea why. I've learned enough the hard way that I just do what the message says, and then I'll look up what the candle means, and then I'll forget it. I have a yellow one. I don't remember what it means now. The two that I always have though. So this is a white one here. I get those at the dollar store because they're super cheap. They have them. I have a black one. I didn't bring all my candles out for you because I needed some room on my desk. I have a red one here. And at a minimum, when I'm doing my work or whenever my intuition says to do so, I always light the black and the white one. And the reason for that is because black and white together provide the ultimate protection. And I thought this is the other book that I've been allowed to read. So How to Meet and Work with Your Spirit Guides. It's by Ted Andrews. He's no longer with us, but he wrote a ton of books, was super prolific. I recommend his books. And that was the only one I was allowed to read. I thought it had candles in that one, but he does have the scents in there. So you can use different fragrances to connect with things. That's a really good book, though. I recommend it. He's got other ones about talking to animals and everything else. And he writes them in a way that is really, really easy to understand. So you don't have to be really developed. If you're a newbie, it's perfectly fine. But I did learn that somewhere about the black and white. So I always at least light those. And it's the same thing. When I sit down to do my work, I go, okay, which candles? And my intuition will tell me, and then it tells me exactly where to put them in the room. And I'm like, all right, the pink one goes over here and the white one goes over here. And they bring things to you. I also have a silver one. So here's the thing of listening to your intuition. This is one of the funny stories. I got the message years ago to get a silver candle. And I was like, why do I need a silver one? Which, by the way, silver is not easy to find. And so I got it. And the next time I was sitting down to do my own inner work, and my intuition said to put the silver candle behind me. I was like, all right. So it was behind me, right? Light them all, get my messages, talk to my people. And so I Googled it later. I looked it up, and silver candles are for protection for people who are secretly trying to have an effect on you, who are trying to stab you in the back, who are trying to be manipulative and very secretive, right? Which is why it's behind you, because you can't see it, right? If people are in front of you, it's a little easier to see their manipulation. And I just thought that was so interesting. I was like, well, that's why, my guides were like, put the candle behind you. That's where we need the protection. We need the silver one there. So, and that was after the fact, right? I listened to my intuition, told me where to put it. That's what I did. This is a place where, once again, you get to listen to yourself and know what works for you. It doesn't always matter what the books say or what other people say. Don't override your own intuition. It's going to be what works for you. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about, oh my gosh, where did I put it? Because I just moved it. Our pendulums. So pendulums, if you don't know what they are, right? They're the things that hang like this. I'm showing a picture for those just listening. It's a chain, and then there's usually something at the bottom. And they're intricately designed weights suspended on chains and are bridges to our subconscious mind. They act as divination tools. Pendulums respond to our queries by swinging or swaying in patterns that reflect our inner truths. So, by tapping into our intuition and deciphering these movements, we can uncover insights that might otherwise remain hidden. Pendulums teach us to trust our inner guidance and embrace the subtle currents that flow beneath the surface of our awareness. So this is what they look like, right? And when you get a pendulum, I actually don't use this one. I only ever use this for one thing, and I don't need to use it anymore. But mine is made out of rose quartz, which of course, right? Pink, who doesn't love it? Super cute, super pretty, and it hangs. So when you get a pendulum, first you get to learn yourself. You get to learn how the pendulum works for you. So sometimes it will swing back and forth. Sometimes it will swing in a circle, and you get to decipher what that means for you. So if it swings counterclockwise, that may be a yes or no. And if it swings clockwise, that will be your yes or no. If it swings forward and backwards, that's a yes or no. If it swings sideways, that's a yes or no. You get to do that by asking it questions and then seeing how your hands move. My marketing lady, she uses a pendulum, and she uses it to ask questions of the group. She'll be like, okay, how open is the group to, this concept that we're talking about? And she'll do her thing, and she'll be like 40, 50, 60. And she's like, all right, we're 60% open. And then she'll teach something, and then she'll check it after. And the number usually goes up because she's amazing. And so what it is you're not moving it. That's the thing that people sort of get. It's like, if I were to ask this a question, I'm not moving the pendulum, right? So it's not, I'm holding it as still as possible. Trying to figure out what's with my camera here. There's a thing at the bottom, and I can't figure out why on my virtual background. So I want you to be able to see this. So you hold it as still as possible, and then you ask it a question. And oh gosh, mine's already spinning. That's so funny. If you can see it on the camera, that's not me. And one of the things is, part of the reason that I don't use the pendulum is because I override it very, very easily. And because my answers come in so fast, I end up overriding this before it can do its thing. I used to use it. Oh, see, I keep bumping the microphone. I apologize for the sound. For negative portals, because I don't like messing with negative portals. They're not my favorite. And there's some rules that go with them. So negative portals are the things that low vibration entities come through. Positive portals we like to have open. That's where our angels and our team and all of them come to visit us. Negative portals we don't want open. And in the beginning, when I was first starting to deal with negative portals, and because of the rules that go along with them, I used this as a backup to be able to grow my own sense of, because I was that part I was nervous, right? And I talked to you about, if you're attached to the answer, it messes up your intuition. And so because of the rules, because I was afraid of getting it wrong with negative portals, I wanted validation. And so that's what I would use this pendulum for. Now I don't need it anymore. I just get a yes or no. My body does its thing. But I still love it. It's still beautiful. It's got crystals in it, rose quartz. So it is still one of my tools. And same thing, no one else touches it. This is a place we get to be very much. It's all my stuff. Nobody gets to touch my stuff, because we want it clean. We want it with just our energy. We want it with just our vibration. But lots of people use pendulums to answer questions, or even divining rods. Remember, you've seen those in the movies? It's the same thing. Anything that is a divining tool. There's one guy I know, he actually has it has a handle, and it's just a straight wire that comes out from it. And the wire will either go up and down or to go from side to side. And that's how he uses it. And, but yes, so this is what pendulums are. Another tool for you to use. Okay. So the last one that we're going to talk about is sage. And right. So the aroma, I can't even say that. So the smoke of sage has been used for centuries as a means of purifying spaces and energies. Burning sage, also known as smudging, is a practice rooted in indigenous traditions that invites us to cleanse our surroundings and ourselves of negativity and stagnant energies. As the smoke ascends, it carries away what no longer serves us, creating a fresh canvas for new intentions and energies to flourish. Sage is, I use it constantly. That's the truth. Constantly. One, for the practice that I have, right? Because I see clients, and we're always helping and changing and clearing and all that kind of stuff, I keep my house very, very clean. So I sage my house at a minimum once a month, usually more. And I burn incense sage, which is what I'm going to show you. So this is what sage looks like. For those of you who don't know, it's bundled. This is white sage. There's different kinds of sages you can get. White is the most common. And this is what it looks like. And you're not looking for fire. If you've never smudged or cleared your house, and you can Google this, there's plenty of, ways that can tell you how to do this, but you light it and you let it burn and then you blow it out because it's the smoke. And you will have to light it periodically and you tap the ashes. So make sure you're doing your house. And what I do also afterwards when have extra energy and is there's a second one you can use. This is called Palo Santo. It's a wood. It smells a little bit like black licorice. Sage kind of smells like pot. So be mindful. And Palo Santo, I do after I sage because it brings in positive energies and it's also a protection. So if you happen to have one or the other, it's fine. You want to be doing something. And then I also have these are the incense, that I burn. It's white sage. Got them on Amazon. I got a package. These ones here came in, I think there was like 8 in a box. It was less than $10. And in each one of these, how many is in here? Like 10. I think there's like 10 in each one of these boxes. So it lasts you a long time. And they're not overpowering. Like I'm sensitive to some of the smells, especially incense. And it's going to be in your house. These are real mild. I burn them all the time and I don't have any reactions, and it's not overpowering where you're in your house. You're like, oh, it just smells. I can't get rid of it. So I really, really like those. So sage is one of those things. I'm gonna just give you a little rundown here. If you're going to sage your space, is you want to start at the furthermost part of your house because you want to be pushing the energy forward to the biggest door. So your front door, your sliding glass door, the best you can. If you happen to be in a room that isn't going to kind of be able to do that, open the window and you start from the farthest part of that particular room and you push the energy towards the window, and you want to do up and down, right? We want to get the corners, especially if you've never saged your house before. Think of it like spring cleaning. Like you want to get in all the nooks and crannies. You want to get all that stagnant, stuck energy out of there. And then after you've done that, when you do it as a management, as a practice, like monthly or whatever, then you don't have to do as much unless some stuff has been going down in your house and then you want to get all the nooks and crannies. But you listen to your intuition in that as well. Like you'd be like, oh, okay, I can feel that there's kind of some stuck energy over there. I want to make sure that I get the smoke. And you just work up and down. The other things that I do is I bring a lot of white light into the house as you're cleaning. And I use other things to make that easier for me so I don't have to work as hard. So I put like really high vibration music on, or music that makes me happy, that makes me want to dance around, right? Because we want a higher vibration. We want to bring positive, high vibration energy into the house. Like, let's make this fun. And when you do things like that, it makes it a little easier than you having to constantly be like, oh, I'm going to pull white, I'm going to pull universal energy, godlike energy and put it through. Because it does take a lot of work. And particularly if you're new at that, it's building a muscle. This is practice, it's exercise. And we get to make it fun and light and easier on ourselves. Not everything has to be hard. One of the things I remind myself of constantly. So then you just move through your house, just pushing the energy to a door that gets out, and then your house is clean. And if you have Palo Santo, you can do that as well. Not everybody does it. I do both sometimes. I like the smell, which is weird because I don't like black licorice, but it's not quite as strong as black licorice. It has its own sort of hint to it. Plus, it's something else natural, right? It's wood. I like natural things, and fire is one of those also. The other thing that you can do is they make sage sprays, right? You can buy those in the bookstores or online, because sometimes we don't have time to like sage a room, or we don't want to smoke it up. So they make sage sprays. They're just as effective. You spray them around. And if you don't like sage spray, or you're out of it or whatever, I also use salt water. Someone taught me that I have a spray bottle of salt water that I keep around, that if I notice a room or a particular something and I'm like, oh, I don't have time to say, I'll just get the salt water out and I'll clear the room, and I'll, some people pray, say your prayers, say your affirmations, whatever that is, and clear the energy, because salt water has the ability to do that as well. So I think that's all the tools I was going to talk about today. I know that's probably like a lot for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. for those of you, because I know I talk about my intuition and talking to my team, and we talked about the book from Ted Andrews of Talk to Your Spirit Guides. I have another blog video podcast about spirit guides. So if you're interested in that, talks about all the kinds that are out there, how to connect to them. It's called What is a Spirit Guide? Highly recommend it. You can find it out there. Okay. So one of the things about psychic tools, right, is they act as catalysts and they invite us to listen to our inner voice and trust our instinct. That's why we have all of these, because it helps us with that connection. So whether you're drawing a tarot card, holding a crystal, these tools encourage us to get quiet, turn the noise down that's around us, and turn inward. They remind us that the answers we often already seek are within us, waiting to be uncovered. And the more we engage with these tools, the more we refine our ability to discern and decipher the messages that they offer us. And so whether you're a seasoned practitioner or a curious newcomer, take a step into this realm. It's lots of fun, I promise. And these tools, and there's even more that I didn't even talk about, that will take you on a journey, and you'll get to know yourself even more. It's really one of the best things. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it made sense. Like I said, I'm thinking about doing some Facebook Lives. If you are interested in that, let me know and I'll start doing them. It's no fun to get on there and nobody be there. I want to connect with y'all. And as always, if there's any ideas of anything else you want me to talk about, please send them to me. I would love to have ideas, and then hopefully the universe delivers the information. Have a fabulous week. And if this was a contribution to you, then please subscribe, like, share, do all the things that get this information to more people. And like I said, for my readers, it'll be posted on Wednesday, Who Knew Healing with a K. If any of this has sparked interest for you, or if you're new or seasoned in your intuitive gifts and you want to learn more, you want to learn yours specifically, reach out, book a session. I love doing intuitive mentoring. It is absolutely one of my favorite things. I love it. Because everybody's are different, and to be able to develop these, and sometimes it can be scary if you're in the beginning because you just don't know what's happening. I love being able to help you. It's just such a joy for me. So please allow me to be your guide for this new journey you happen to be on. As always, thank you to everyone who has donated to my cosmic tip jar. It allows me to do more free things like this that I get to give to people. If anyone feels led to do so, the links are in the description posting information. All right, everyone, have a fabulous week. I will see you next week. Thank you for everything. Bye-bye.